Hello, today is Monday, August 10th, 2026. Here is your daily signal. According to Fortune, Iran has issued a long list of steep demands the U.S. must satisfy before the Strait of Hormuz will be reopened, with the Supreme National Security Council stating the passage will not open until the United States corrects its behavior. The Strait of Hormuz is a vital maritime choke point through which approximately 20% of the world's oil passes, connecting the Persian Gulf with global markets, and regional tensions especially between Iran and Western powers have frequently raised the risk of disruptions, as seen during past crises like the Iran-Iraq War and recent U.S.-Iran standoffs. Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps and the government in Tehran wield significant control over the strait's passage, while key oil companies such as Saudi Aramco, ExxonMobil, and BP rely on this route for uninterrupted energy exports. On August 9, Reuters reported oil prices spiked by 8% after Iran threatened to block the strait. Bloomberg detailed Saudi Aramco activating emergency export plans, and the Financial Times confirmed Lloyd's of London increased insurance premiums for shipments in the area due to heightened risk. A closure would cause immediate global oil supply shocks, possibly spiking Brent crude above $150 per barrel, with Asia's largest economies China, Japan, and India facing energy shortages and inflationary pressures, while extended risks may escalate military deployments by the US, UK, and regional allies and dramatically increase operational costs for shipping firms and their security investments. Next, onto US labor data. Fortune reports that the latest jobs update reveals the economy has been weaker than previously thought, with the Labor Department's July report showing a 23,000 job deficit and revisions cutting another 103,000 jobs from May and June payrolls. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics (BLS) routinely publishes employment data that's sometimes subject to revision, and recent corrections have significantly altered perceptions of the labor market. Such adjustments, often due to delayed business reporting or methodological changes, can strongly influence economic policy decisions and market stability. The BLS reported on August 7 that non-farm payroll employment fell by 23,000 and the unemployment rate dipped to 4.1% as more Americans left the workforce, while the National Urban League highlighted a downward revision of over 250,000 jobs from previous estimates, signaling renewed caution. Another report noted total employment rose by just 22,000 jobs in July after these revisions, and disparities in the black-white unemployment ratio resurfaced as a concern. Near term, the Federal Reserve may consider lowering interest rates to address slowing job growth and rising unemployment inequalities, while downwards revisions could shake public and market confidence in the reliability of labor data, reigniting debates about structural inequalities and prompting employers to react cautiously to fluctuating signals. Next, onto the Texas data center environmental impact. TechCrunch reports that Amazon's planned Texas data center could become the largest climate polluter in the United States, as the facility invests in an on-site power plant to secure its energy needs. Hyperscale data centers in Texas require immense power and have increasingly turned to on-site generation, often natural gas turbines or diesel generators, to secure reliable energy, especially given Texas's strained grid and recent renewable expansion. Environmental concerns focus on rising air emissions, water usage, and land use due to increased local energy production. Major operators like Amazon Web Services, Microsoft, Google, and Facebook face regulatory oversight from the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality (TSEC), which issued a notice on August 10 outlining stricter NOx emissions limits for new on-site installations, while local utilities and environmental advocacy groups stress the sector's growing footprint. Microsoft, for example, commissioned a 500 MW natural gas plant in Ellis County. An Environmental Defense Fund reported that backup diesel generators at Texas data centers contributed 17,000 tons of CO2 emissions in the past year. Tighter emissions regulations could drive up capital and operating costs for new data centers, slow Texas's grid decarbonization as local fossil-based power supplements renewable energy, and intensify public and regulatory scrutiny on tech companies' operations. These shifts may prompt moves toward green hydrogen or battery alternatives, while water use for cooling could further strain aquifers in drought-prone Texas counties. Now, onto the markets. Across international markets, Germany led monthly performance with EWG up 6.8%, while Japan surged day on day, EWJ rising 1.8%. France also posted strong gains, with EWQ jumping 6.8% for the month and closing near highs. Among commodities, gold climbed sharply as GLD increased 8.5% over the month, and silver advanced with SLV up 10.2%. Platinum had a robust move with PPLT up 9.2%, while U.S. oil held mostly steady but closed slightly lower for the day. In the favorites category, Adobe continued its upward trend, growing over 15% on the month, and Nvidia showed strength with NVDA up more than 10%. Microsoft moved modestly today, finishing at 499.99. Axon stood out as the strongest daily performer, up 9.3%. Sector-wise, the S&P 500 edged higher, with SPY gaining 0.6% on the day and 3.2% for the month, while semiconductor names surged as stocks rose 2% day-on-day, supported by Marvell's strong move. Healthcare also advanced moderately with Roman 45 up 0.7% for the day and finance slipped slightly despite a positive monthly trend. That's it for today. You can find more news and details on our website. Goodbye.